And let's let the sound of this next bell take us to the deepest place within us. All right. First, before we begin, I would actually like to go ahead and take a moment to introduce our musician for today to you. I know that a lot of you already know him, and it is such a joy for Awakening Ways to welcome back Mark Stanton Welch. So Mark Stanton Welch is a singer, songwriter, performer, sound alchemist, vibrational healer, composer, spiritual mentor, facilitator of change, educator, and visionary. You know this by his works on this table. There's a lot there. And his inspirational music and activities are intended to be in alignment with the integrity of humankind. All of his creations support compassion, wholeness, personal spiritual evolution, and the manifestation of planetary oneness. Wow, let's give him a warm welcome. And normally we stand for our first two songs. Would you like them to stand, or do you want us to just chill, or?
These are going to be participating songs, so.
Yes, let's stand.
Rise is one.
Oh, there you go.
Of course, you have the right to pass. So we're going to do repeat after me songs. Now, if I was working with kids, I would say, we're going to do a repeat after me song, and they would say, we're going to do a repeat after me song. So they'd be right there. All right. So I'll feed you a line, and then we'll go. If it doesn't bring peace, I don't need it. If it doesn't bring peace, I don't need it. If it doesn't bring peace, I don't need it. If it doesn't bring peace, I don't need it. If it doesn't bring peace, I don't need it. If it doesn't bring peace, I don't need it. If it don't bring peace, I'm gonna leave it alone. If it don't bring peace, I'm gonna leave it alone. If it doesn't bring, come on now, I don't need it. If it doesn't bring, we are no longer call and response, because you got it. Doesn't bring peace, I don't need it. If it doesn't bring peace, I don't need it. If it doesn't bring peace, I don't need it. If it don't bring peace, I'm gonna leave alone. If it doesn't bring peace, I don't need it. If it doesn't bring peace, I don't need it. If it doesn't bring peace, I don't need it. If it don't bring peace, I'm gonna leave it alone. If it doesn't bring peace, I don't need it. If it doesn't bring peace, I don't need it. If it doesn't bring peace, well, I don't need it. If it don't bring peace, I'm gonna leave. One more. If it doesn't bring peace, I don't need it. If it doesn't bring peace, I don't need it. If it doesn't bring peace, well, I don't need it. If it don't bring peace, I'll leave it alone. If I meant one more, peace, I don't need it. If it doesn't bring peace, I don't need it. If it doesn't bring peace, I don't need it. If it don't bring peace, I'm gonna leave it alone. Yeah. All right. Pretend you're at a camp, all right? Kids camp. So you're going to say, it's a peace party. Everybody join. It's a peace party. Feels so cool. Let's put that into song. It's a peace party. Come on. It's a peace party. Everybody join. Everybody join. It's a peace party. It's a peace party. Feels so cool. Feels so cool. It's a peace party. Come on. It's a peace party. We're loving our lives away. We're loving our lives away. Put it together. It's a peace party. Peace party. Everybody join. Everybody join. It's a peace party. Feels so cool. Feels so cool. It's a peace party. We're loving our life. Loving our lives away. One more time just for practice. It's a peace party. Everybody join the peace party. Feels so cool, feels so cool. It's a peace party. Loving our life, loving our lives away. Now we're gonna go, I am peace. Okay, I am peace. You are peace. We are peace. The world is peace. I am peace. You are peace. We are peace. Together. P-E-A-C-E, peace. P-E-A-C-E, peace. Big ending. Love is all we need. Come on. Love is all we need. Thank you, Beatles. Last time, it's a peace party. It's a peace party. Everybody join a peace party. Feels so cool, feels so cool. It's a peace party. Loving our lives away. I am peace. I am peace. You are peace. We are peace. The world is peace. I am peace. You are peace. And we are peace together. We spell it out. We go P-E-A-C-E, peace. P-E-A-C-E, peace. P-E-A-C-E, peace. Love is all we need. That's that. All right.
Wow. Great big ending.
Been working on it.
Wonderful. Oh, well, while you're standing, please turn to one another and offer the namaste greeting. Namaste, namaste, beloveds. Blessings. Namaste, Mark. Namaste. Namaste to our tech team, Jesus and Brian. Namaste to our love streamers. Blessings. And as you take your seat, if you'll please take a moment. Ooh, there's lots of energy in here. You feel that? Yeah. As you take your seats, please take a moment to also silence your cell phones or whatever devices you have that make noise. Grand rising, beloveds. I'm sorry, what was that? There we go. My name is Reverend Elizabeth. Actually, I'm Reverend Elizabeth Rowley Hogue. That was for joy. And I'm the spiritual leader here, and I use she, her gender pronouns. And deep breath together right here. And another one. And one more. And now, feeling and sensing that togetherness and oneness, I'm so overjoyed to welcome you to the Awakening Ways Center for Spiritual Living, where all that we ask is that you remain open to the possibility of changing your entire life by changing your mind. This service has been designed especially for you. Welcome home. We have been waiting for you. And we have an affirmation for today, and I invite you to please repeat after me. I am the peace I see in the world. I am the peace I see in the world. I am the peace I see in the world. And so it is. And now our practitioner for today, Kristen Barnhart, will offer a Science of Mind reading and the opening prayer. Thank you, Kristen. It's already on.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I have a reading from, oh, wait a minute. Forgot the important part. We are a community that believes in the power of prayer. We bank on it. We have different ways that you can access our prayer community. We have, well, in your programs, there's a sheet, salmon-colored sheet, we can put a prayer request on, and the prayer request box is over there, and there are more sheets there. I will be available for a quick, we call it a quick 3-minute miracle in the back lobby area after the service. You can send a request through email to info@awakeningways.org. Just put prayer request in the subject thing so we can get it right out. And you can also make an appointment with a practitioner or a minister to do a deep dive into something that you may really be needing to let go of. Yeah. So, my reading today is from 365, which I read every morning and night. We know that words of love overcome thoughts of hate. We know that peace will heal confusion and that a sense of power will overcome the belief in weakness. All our work should be built upon the supposition that good overcomes evil, not by combating, but by transcending it. The non-combativeness of spirit is the principle back of the law of non-resistance that Jesus so plainly taught. The spirit has no opposites. It's always joyous, perfect, and free. There is no difference in the essence between our spirit and the Spirit. Our spirit is the Spirit of God in each of us. The two are one. The peace and the power of the divine presence is with me today. So if you're comfortable closing your eyes, we know that this power of peace, this power of love, is the only power. And it flows through us. We are one with it, as we are one with each other. I know I'm one with it, and I know everyone here is. So, on this incredibly beautiful day of my favorite month, September, we are reveling, just reveling in the beauty of the diamonds off the lake. Getting to sit and listen to Mark's songs and knowing that we will take them with us, either in form from the table or just in our hearts. We know that Reverend Elizabeth's words of peace that she has been exploring all month will resonate at a deeper level as it all coalesces. And we are in the moment as a community. And I am so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for this opportunity to come together, to raise our voices together, to share the consciousness, to know that Susan is sitting holding the high watch in a deep, deep prayer, meditative state. I'm just grateful for it all. And I know my word to be true. So it's just easy to release into the law, knowing it's done. And together we say, and so it is.
I love speaking in tongues. That is, I know what that little one is saying. going right in there and touching the truth of every one of us. Amen. So there I was yesterday. First of all, thank you for having me. What a delight. Thank you. None of us have aged a bit. That's what I see. As vibrant as we have ever been, if not more. Was in Sacramento for 2 days working with youth up there, and I had the opportunity to drive home late yesterday down the International Speedway, Highway 5, and I had the opportunity to practice giving love so much. In the process, I was giving so much love that it kind of strained my voice a little bit. So we're going to see what happens with the song at this point. So I've been walking a line between which song to do this morning, looking for the feel. So it's either song A or song B. So how many of you want song A? Okay. How many want B? God, all right. Somehow I now you don't know which I'm choosing, right? So, oh, you chose B. So I'm going to be beating on the guitar, so you can bring it down. And the little one is there. Well, there are people in my life I call my friends. You know we have a really good time. And they might have a little problem, a big argument, but I know everything will be fine. But there are those that hurt me with the things they do. I call them my enemy, and they're showing me a part of me I won't embrace. When I hate them, I hate me. I'm going to love my enemies. I'm going to love my enemy like I do my friends. That's your part. There we go. I'm going to love my enemies. I'm going to love my enemy like I do my friend. When somebody tries to hurt or harm me, you know they got some problem inside. And I can fight back hard, turn around and run, or listen with the heart open wide. 'Cause they're really calling out for a little bit of love, for somebody to care. And it doesn't do me 1 ounce of harm to let them know that I'll be there. I'm gonna love my enemies. Come on. I'm gonna love my enemy like I do my friend. Yes, I'm gonna love my enemy. I'm gonna love my enemy like I do my friends. Because a little bit of love may be the only way to make a problem right. A little bit of love may be the only way to heal that hurting life. I don't know how it goes. You see, we're living in a world built on greed and war. That's not the way it has to be. 'Cause each of us here can start to make a change by throwing out the word enemy. We can choose to live in humanhood, harmony, and treat each other with love. Just think about a world where everybody here, they give hugs instead of pushes and shoves. And we love our enemies. Come on now. Yes, we love our enemy like we do our friends. Just like we do our friends. Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna love my enemy. I'm gonna love my enemy like I do my friends. Just like I do my friends. One more time. Oh, I'm gonna love my enemies. I'm gonna love my enemy like I do my friends. Just like I do my friends. just like I do my friends, just like I do my friends. Thank you. Sure you don't want song, eh?
Grand Rising. All right, well, this should be interesting. So, welcome to the last Sunday of September. This is fun. Hi, Shelly B. Just saw you come in. The talk title for today is Putting the Pieces Together, and that's P-E-A-C-E-S. And so, we've been talking about different aspects of peace each week, and we're going to have a little review. So for those of you who weren't here, don't worry, we're going to catch you up. That's the royal we. And so I'm going to catch you up on this whole month, and I want to begin with week 1. Now, you may remember this part. Am I doing this right? Wait, let's do it this way. Am I doing this right? Is everyone looking at me? Does this romper make me look short? What's my life's purpose? Should I get chips for dinner? Am I happy? What is going on here? Why are we doing this? You are looking at me. What do I want? Yes, that's called the warrior pose. The warrior pose, beloveds. And so that's how we don't want to be. We don't want to be in that aspect and that state of worry. And I love the song that Mark Stanton Welch just sang. Kristen, can you hand me that piece of paper? Because I wrote down the lyrics. And Travis is going to bring this part up. And it's going to be a smooth transition. And so, and so his words were, if it doesn't bring peace, I don't need it. And then the second part was, if it don't bring peace, I'll leave it alone. And so I'll leave it alone. So what does that mean exactly, right? Now, it occurred to me that some of us might be thinking about external things, but what was occurring for me is, if that thought doesn't bring peace, I don't need it. If that thought doesn't bring peace, I don't need it. If it don't bring peace, I'm going to leave it alone. Wow, that is so powerful. So thank you for this, Mark. What a beautiful, beautiful song. And it seemed simple, but that's the thing. That is so powerful. It's these simple but profound statements, right? Like an affirmation. And so if it doesn't bring peace, I'm going to leave it alone. I'm just going to leave it alone. And so for me, what works is having an additional chant, yes? And so I've had several opportunities this week, this whole month really, to shift my thinking, to shift my perception. And the way for me to do this has been to say something different so that my mind doesn't get caught up in the story, because that story, I don't know if you've noticed, but it's like the law of attraction kicks in and the story just goes off, right? And it's like, next thing you know, you're totally dramatic and dramatizing everything. And then there's that recognition and realization that, oh, wait a minute. That is not the story that I want to create. That's not what I'm creating. And recognizing that by continuing to tell that same story, that's what I'm creating. I'm creating it, and I'm creating this angst within my own self. And it's like, okay. And so what happened for me? Om Shanti Om, Om Shanti Om. What else is possible? And it actually became a chant in my mind whenever I call it like intrusive thoughts, because it's like the incessant worry or this fear that wants to keep coming up. Did any of you ever have that? Right? Yeah. And so what else is possible you can say to it? Thank you for reminding me of how I used to be. Or Om Shanti Om, just go all in with Om Shanti Om, Om Shanti Om, Om Shanti Om, until it disappears, because your mind cannot hold two thoughts at once. And then you'll notice as you're saying Om Shanti Om in your mind, that the other part, the worry, the doubt, has taken the back seat. It can't be present. And for some of us, sometimes, okay, we'll stop with the Om Shanti Om, and then there it is again, right in our face. Back to it, Om Shanti Om, Om Shanti Om, Om Shanti Om. And at some point, it just dissolves, it dissipates, the worry, the fear, the doubt, the story, because the thing that you're chanting becomes more powerful. So how beautiful that is. Now, so in week 1 of this month, we talked about how when things appear to be falling apart, what if we were to consider they're actually falling together, right? And that is so comforting, because sometimes we are so in the story, so in the situation that we're in, that we think this is the way life is and nothing is going to ever change. But the reality is that everything is always changing. And maybe, just maybe, everything that led up to this moment is a culmination of you becoming more of who you came here to be. It's really things falling together. Things are actually falling together. And there's such beauty in that. And the other way to look at it is that pain pushes us until vision pulls us. Our pain will push us. What does that mean? I don't like this. I don't like this. This is horrible. This is terrible. What's going on? I can't believe it. I'm so miserable. Oh, woe is me. You know, you gotta there's a piece of Velcro and, I can't do it. This is bad. This is awful, blah, 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 right? And then suddenly there's a vision. Well, what if this was possible? What else is possible? What if this happened? Or what would it be like if only this thing was occurring? Or what would it be like if you name it, right? And you start to describe the thing which you would love to experience in your life. You start to imagine what it looks like, what it feels like, what it sounds like, etc. And then miraculously, but not really miraculously because it's the law, your life begins to look that way that you've imagined. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, that is so amazing. That is so amazing, and we've got to remind ourselves of this because, again, we can get so caught in the situation, the condition, the experience that we're not liking. We get stuck, right? But I'm so grateful for this teaching and for new thought and for having a relationship with the God of my understanding, because I know that it is here and it has birthed me into existence to know itself in a particular way that it can only know through me. And the same is true for each of you. That Spirit has come here to experience itself in a particular way that it can only do so through you and you and you and you and you, all of us, right? What a beautiful gift that is, because we can remember that if that's the case, everything has got to be working out for the highest and greatest good for my life and everyone's life. It has to be. And as we know this is true, we know that there's light at the end of that tunnel. We know that things are transforming. Are you with me? Yes. Isn't that a beautiful gift? And so in that first week, we're still in week 1, right? So I talked about what peace was not and how it can include us being reactive to a situation where we feel triggered by something another person said. We can feel triggered by an event that occurred in the world. We can feel triggered by something going on in our own lives. Maybe there's a health challenge, a financial stressor. Maybe there's contractors working on your house. That's me. We can feel hurt and angry and overwhelmed and out of control and more. Like I've had so many moments just this past week where it felt out of control. Like things aren't going to change and they're, I went into full victim mode and it's like, what else is possible? What else is possible? Om Shanti Om. Now, peace represents harmony and tranquility and the absence of disturbance while it's opposite embodies strife, disorder, and unrest. Now, while there is something occurring in your life that is having you not be peaceful, the ability for us to find the peace within us in the midst of the situation, yes? And then that's where we move into, we may not like the situation we're in, but it is imperative that we like ourselves in it. So that means if you can fast forward a little bit in your mind to your future self and you looking back on yourself and the situation you're in, what can you do, who can you be that's going to allow you to like yourself and be proud of the way that you responded, not reacted? Are you with me? Yeah, like that was enough, right? That was a big week, and I shared my story, my personal story about my conflict at work and the resolution and my transformation and how it worked out magnificently in a way that I couldn't have planned it. And so it's also about us trusting in the divine and that we can find that peace in the divine. And then we also had a spiritual practice of stop, drop, and pray. So when you're in the midst of something that is bringing you the opposite of peace, just stop and pray. Stop. Drop the thoughts, drop the story, and pray. Mother, Father, God, infinite life of love and beauty and peace, I'm so grateful I'm alive. And you begin to shift your own consciousness, yes? Stop, drop, and pray. And then week 2, my husband and I were out of town, and we had a wonderful whirlwind weekend getaway. And DeLon, who's here today, got to be the guest speaker, and he was wonderful, right? Yeah. Yeah. Woo! And so DeLon shared many things, but a couple of things that really resonated with me on a deep level were that he said Webster defines mysticism, Webster Dictionary, as the experience of mystical union or direct communion with ultimate reality. And then he said, well, that's kind of a mouthful, right? So it's not a theory or a thing, but an experience. It's an actual experience, an experience of union or communion with reality, ultimate reality. And so that experience of the higher self, and the topic was waking up to oneness. And so he really went into the how to do that, right? How to get into a space of oneness. And he shared that Austrian neurologist, psychologist, he didn't share this, or maybe he did, but the survivor, Austrian neurologist, psychologist, philosopher, and survivor Viktor Frankl observed between the stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space lies our freedom. In that space lies our power to choose our responses. And in our response lies our growth and our freedom. So DeLon then shared what one common thing we do is sort of a reset into our normal lives. We're cruising along. We have this high, holy consciousness. We've been doing our spiritual practice. We're in prayer. We've been meditating. I mean, we're levitating, right? Woo, we're floating out into the world. And then suddenly we forget, something happens. We forget. The luster wears off. You know what I'm talking about? That sparkly, shiny, divine luster that we have, it somehow wears off. Scientists, he said, call this the hedonic reset. You've ever heard of that? And it's something our brains do. We name it and normalize it, and then it just fades back into the mundane. And so we fade back into the mundane. We forget who we are, in other words. Spiritual beings having a human experience, expression of the divines, that the divine has birthed us into existence to know itself in a particular way through us, that it can only express in that particular way through you. And it's like, who are we to not share those gifts, right? And so DeLon said, we do this, fade back into the mundane, replacing the experience with the description of the experience. That was so powerful. And he said, here's the thing. You can't eat the word food. Wow. You can't eat the word food. There's no flavor whatsoever in the word apple. Wow. Right? Wow. That's not the Big Dipper that you see in the sky. Wow. It's a dynamic activity in the life of the cosmos. Thank you, Delon. That was powerful, right? Does that make sense? So that's how we forget. We confuse the world as it is with the world as we describe it. Whoa. Whoa. We confuse the world as it is with the world as we describe it. So let's begin to describe something new, right? Let's begin to describe something new. He also shared that, have any of you ever fallen in love? Raise your hand here if you've ever fallen in love. And then he said, then you're a mystic. So let's not forget that all of us are mystics. We are all mystics, yes? And so that was week 2. I'm sad that I missed it. It was so good, right? But fortunately, I got to hear it in class the next week. That was his final project for the mysticism class. And then week 3 was all about Om Shanti Om. And we remembered that Om is considered the primordial sound of the universe, often called the sound of creation, and that Shanti means peace, but not just peace as in the absence of conflict. It is actually the peace that transcends, that surpasses all human understanding. It is the same peace that's described in the Bible. And then we returned to Om. Om Shanti Om. And so Om Shanti Om became like a cosmic dance where the beginning and the end were one and the same. Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. Right? Repeating Om after Shanti, we affirm that peace is not separate from the creative force of the universe. Rather, it's an integral part of it. Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. And then we chanted it over and over, and we actually got up out of our chairs and started walking around Om Shanti Om, and we were speaking this into existence because the point of it at the end of the talk was that we bring this chant out into the world, because just like in India, when the yogis run into each other on the streets of Rishikesh, they're able to identify the chant that yogi has been chanting for the week, because it's vibrating, it's coming off of them. There's a vibration. And so when we're chanting Om Shanti Om, there's that vibration of peace and primordial peace, because we have the primordial sound of the universe, peace, primordial sound of the universe. There's that cosmic dance, Om Shanti Om. Om Shanti Om. And I don't know if you guys practiced this or not, but we did. So that same day, a group of us, we had a friend in town, Gio. Hey, Gio, if you're watching. We had our friend Gio in town, and so a group of us had a picnic in the park after the service that day. And there were like 10 or 12 of us. I don't know. There were quite a few of us. And it was fun, and everybody brought food. And we got out there after the service, and there were like a ton of wasps. And the wasps were really stoked about this food. You could tell they wanted it. And we were just like, what's happening with these wasps? And I was like, I'm going to just stand back here because the wasps are not calling to me. And so I was eating my food, and they just were sitting at the table. I was so impressed. The wasps just hoarding this. You know what I mean? My outdoorsy people, right? Yeah. And so I was thinking, why don't we make a plate for the wasps, and then they can eat over here, right? But that didn't happen. That idea was not welcomed. And so we continued, and then everybody ate, and then we sat down, and we were going to play a game together. And these wasps were just swarming around still, no food on the table, but they were smelling like the remnants, or maybe it was somebody's perfume or something they had in their hair. Who knows, right? wasps. And I was like, the wasps. And then Joy said, Om Shanti Om. And then someone else said, Om Shanti Om. And then we all started chanting, Om Shanti Om, Om Shanti Om, Om Shanti Om. And you know what? The wasps went away. Wow. Isn't that cool? This stuff works, but we have to be able to use it in our moment of need. And I heard it once said, if we desert the truth in our hour of need, it proves that we did not know the truth to begin with. But I know that that is not true for us. We know the truth. And so we're not deserting it in our hour of need. This is everyday life stuff. This is not about you wandering around in the ashrams with a shaved head and mala beads and a robe. This is everyday life because that's what we're living. And that's what the people who are doing that for, right? To bring that out into the world. Om Shanti Om, Om Shanti Om. Everyday life. Bring it into your life. All right, so that was a powerful week. And the power of Om Shanti Om was in its simplicity, right? Om Shanti Om, very easy. Now, week 4, which was last week, was all about imagining peace. And so it was reminding us that what we focus on grows. What we think about, we bring about. It's the law of attraction in action. So if we use the power of our thoughts to focus on everything that is wrong in the world, we're going to experience more of everything that we think is wrong in the world. Now, I don't know about y'all, but how's the song go? I'm going to leave it alone. Yeah, that's not going to bring peace, right? Thinking about and focusing on what's wrong in the world, the problem, admiring the problem, in other words. What if we use the power of our thoughts to imagine peace? Then we will start seeing those pieces, the fragments, right, turning into peace, and a grand rising of peace will be revealed in our lives. Who wants some of that? Hello. Okay, thank you. Now, the call was to let us join the dreamers of the world to imagine the sweet reality of peace right now. Because sometimes we act like they need to get peaceful over there. I don't know what they're doing. I'm peaceful. They need to do something about that, right? That war. They need to fix that. What's wrong with those people? Don't they know peace? It's us. So how do we be the peace we want to see in the world? That's the calling. And that song, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me, because peace begins on our own minds. And so we were assigned the homework assignment to imagine peace, vision about it, think about it, dream about it, share it with your friends. What does it look like, feel like? What does it smell like, right? What is that sense of peace in my own life and in the world? Don't think that who you are isn't contributing to the world. The way that you are being, the way that you are thinking, the way that you are moving through the world, each one of us contributes to the world. Sometimes we think, oh, I'm just one person. But the truth is, I am one person. And the collective can bring forth this transformation that we so deeply desire to see in the world. And so we're doing this in our community, and in our community we align with other communities doing the same, and eventually touching other communities and all the people in our lives. Like, think about your experience of peace and everyone in your current life that you touch with your words, with your way of being, right? All of your communities, all of the people and friends and families, and then all of their friends and families and people and animals and situations and events that they touch. And it goes on, like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon or whatever. Remember that? I haven't heard that in a long time, but it just popped in my mind. But there's more than 6, right? it's the ripple effect. It goes out and it touches more people. So we never know. We think, oh, I'm only one person, but your way of being, who you're being in the world, is affecting a whole lot more than you imagine. And so thank you for being here, because by being here, you have agreed and accepted this call to be in a higher state of awareness, a higher consciousness, because you want to be the space of peace in the world. You want to bring light into your own life and into the life of others. That is so beautiful. Give yourself a hand right now. Yeah. Love that, Betty. Give yourself a hug, too. You're so loved. And so we had the beginning of autumn, and then we talked about how there's 100 days left in the year, and there was so much good happening. So today, we've just put all the pieces together. And so using the tools that we know of to move from a fragmented experience of reality, which is reactionary, worried, and fearful, we can come to a place in our own consciousness where we know we can choose peace. And in this space, we remember and recognize we had the power all along. We just forgot. We had this power of choice all along. And then we started using tools to help us, like stop, drop, and pray. And then we woke up to oneness and remembered that we are mystics. There is a high and holy call to action for us, because at some point in our lives, everyone here has experienced the divine in a way that either we can describe beautifully or that words can't describe. That's a mystical experience. And we remember that life is not just a series of words strung together, but a series of experiences. And who I'm being in the world is important. My consciousness matters. My consciousness makes a difference. Now, our book of the month is so beautiful. It's Thich Nhat Hanh's Peace is Every Step. And the book of the month reminds us to go deeply into everything. And this book is so rich. For instance, Thich Nhat Hanh, in some of the first couple of pages, talks about looking at the pages of the book. And so you might think he's saying, oh, look deeply into the words. But no, he's like, look at the book. Like, imagine the clouds that produce the rain to grow the trees to make the paper for this book. That is deep, right? Or what about the sunshine that helped grow the tree for this paper in this book? And the call to action for us was to look at everything that way. That is true mindfulness. And that's what he means. Peace is every step. Be present and in this moment, and forget about the past and the future. And be present right here and right now, and you will experience the peace that passes human understanding. You will experience a vibrant technicolor reality in your life, and you deserve that. And who doesn't want that? Right? Thank you. It's okay to clap. Yeah. I'll clap for that. Yeah. Yeah. So go deeply into the experience of peace as you recognize your oneness with all of life, including in this book. And so we chanted Om Shanti Om, the vibration of primordial peace, and we felt it in our bodies. We can continue doing this, right? Throughout, like, this is not just for the month of September. This is setting us on a trajectory for peace in our lives, to allow ourselves to become more of who we are. And I don't know about you, but I've noticed that when I'm able to relax into my natural state, the tension dissolves, the worry dissolves, and there is peace, and then I can be more present, and that's what I want. I want to be more present. I want to be so present with you that there is like an exchange of energy that occurs in individual conversations where I'm talking with people and then they leave and they feel like they're uplifted and transformed just because of the goodness that was experienced in that moment. I see you nodding your head, right? Yes. That's who we want to be, right? But we've got to let go of some things in order us to get to peace. So I've already reviewed the whole month, so I'm not going to go into that again, but I want to say that putting the pieces together today is that we have our spiritual practices that we know work, and now it's up to us to use these practices when we need them the most. It's up to us. This extends beyond the confines of this month. It's ongoing. This is a practice. Peace is a practice, and I love what John Lennon said. He said, peace is not something you wish for or hope for. It's actually something you make. Peace is something you do. Peace is something you are. And peace is something you give away. Wow. And so I want to read from you. This book is so rich that I used dollars as bookmarks. Look at that. A rich little book. This one has a $5 bill. It's so good. Should have been a $100 bill. But this is page 42 of our book of the month, Pieces Every Step by Thich Nhat Hanh. And this one is about a flower, and it's called Flower Insights. Now I invite you to just relax. It's kind of a meditative story, so relax into your chair and close your eyes and open up your ears and your mind and your heart and allow this to come in. And he says, there is a story about a flower which is well known in the Zen circles. One day, the Buddha held up a flower in front of an audience of 1,250 monks and nuns. And he did not say anything for quite a long time. The audience was perfectly silent. Everyone seemed to be thinking hard, trying to see the meaning behind the Buddha's gesture. Then suddenly the Buddha smiled. He smiled because someone in the audience smiled at him and the flower. The name of that monk was Mahakashyapa. He was the only person who smiled. And the Buddha smiled back and said, I have a treasure of insight, and I have transmitted it to Mahakashyapa. Now that story has been discussed by many generations of Zen students, and people continue to look for its meaning. To me, the meaning is quite simple. When someone holds up a flower and shows it to you, they want you to see it. If you keep thinking, you will miss the flower. The person who was not thinking, who was just himself, was able to encounter the flower in depth. And he smiled. He says this is the problem of life. If we are not fully ourselves, truly present in the moment, we miss everything. When a child presents themselves to you with their smile, if you are not really there and you're thinking about the future or the past or preoccupied with other problems, then the child is not really there for you. The technique of being alive is to go back to yourself in order for the child to appear like a marvelous reality. Then you can see them smile and you can embrace them in your arms. I would like to share a poem with you written by a friend of mine who died at the age of 28 in Saigon about 30 years ago. After he died, people found many beautiful poems he had written, and I was startled when I read this poem. It has just a few short lines, but it is very beautiful. standing quietly by the fence. You smile your wondrous smile. I am speechless, and my senses are filled by the sounds of your beautiful song. Beginningless and endless, I bow deeply to you. You refers to a flower, a dahlia. That morning, as he passed by a fence, he saw that little flower very deeply, and struck by the sight of it, he stopped and wrote that poem. He says, I enjoy this poem very much. You might think that the poet was a mystic because of his way of looking and seeing things very deeply, but he was just an ordinary person like any of us. I don't know how or why he was able to look and see like that, but it is exactly the way we practice mindfulness. We try to be in touch with life and look deeply as we drink our tea, as we sit down or arrange flowers. The secret of the success is that you are really yourself. And when you are really yourself, you can encounter life in the present moment. And so it is. I absolutely love this book because you can just open it, and this is not the first time we've had this as our book of the month, but you can open it at any page and read the excerpt, the anecdote, or the story or meditation, and be transformed by it. You don't have to read the book from beginning to end if you don't have the time. But reading these little excerpts are transformative, you know? And so, I just love it. Now, the call for us this week is to look deeply. Look deeply, and you will find the divine in the midst of life. You will find and experience its beauty, glory, and perfection, and it will take your breath away if you will allow it to. The divine will take your breath away if you will allow it to. So the call for us is to open our hearts, open our minds, and allow the divine to show us the beauty, to show us the peace, to show us how to be that beauty, how to be that peace we wish to see in the world. What needs to happen in order for us to be that? So the questions to ask yourself this week. Number one is, what is one action that I can take to make the world a more peaceful place? What is one action that I can take this week? Number two, what do I need to do personally to create more peace in my life? Is there something I need to let go of? Is there something I need to start doing, stop being, and so forth? One thing. And then I'm going to invite Travis to come up as we prepare for the prayer. And I wanted to share with you something from The Inner Light by William Hornaday and Harlan Ware. So Hornaday said, "How can you and I be at peace as long as other people on earth are obliged to live in horror? A child is murdered, dictators impose slavery on whole societies. How can we know comfort when other people's lives are tragic?" And Ernest Holmes responded that there is evidence that humanity is evolving. There is evidence that humanity is evolving. I look at the day when we overcome our experiences and rise triumphant over present limitations. There are mysteries, but now we know that there is also law. And in order to abide here, we must have a very positive acceptance of the ultimate goodness of life, toward which goodness I believe we are all traveling. In other words, we're all headed in the direction of peace. It's happening. We have will and choice in our lives. But the universal intelligence must be the essence of goodness, beauty, and truth. And that includes peace. Let's take a deep breath together. And relax once again into your body. And just allow yourself to relax into your natural state. Maybe sit up straight in your chair. Place your hands on your lap. Uncross your legs and keep your feet either on the ground or on the chair. Step. And all of us, let's look up a little bit. Raise your head up a little bit and open your eyes for a moment and look up. Just look up with me. Look up at the ceiling and beyond the ceiling and into the sky above and into the cosmos. And now you can lower your head back to looking straight ahead, and I invite you to close your eyes. And turn your attention inward with me. Something happens when we look up. Something happens. There's a shift that occurs in our consciousness. And then we look up beyond the space that is here and beyond the roof and into the sky and into the cosmos and beyond the great beyond. And then we bring that back down to our center and know and remember that there is one thing happening here and now, and it is spirit. And this divine presence is happening. It's an activity that is actually happening within me. It is a thing that has birthed me into existence, that has birthed each one of us into existence for such a time as this. This thing that I call spirit has birthed me into existence and each one of us into existence to know itself in a particular way. It wants to experience life through us. It wants to experience love through us. It wants to experience peace through each one of us and so much more. And so I know and claim for each one of us that today is the day that we allow it to be. Today is the day that we dissolve every single barrier within us that would prevent us from experiencing the divine. We let it go. We let it go. And dissolve back into that native nothingness from whence it came. And those barriers don't exist. And we recognize that they were a figment of our imagination, that we were naming them and creating them. And so we have decided, we have chosen to name and create something new. Peace in my life, peace in my mind, peace in my heart, peace in my body. Om Shanti Om, Om Shanti Om, Om Shanti Om, Om Shanti, 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 Om. Yes, there is peace. Yes, there is peace in my mind. Yes, there is peace in my body. Yes, there is peace in my heart. Yes, there is peace in this place. I am walking on holy ground. Om Shanti Om. I know and remember that the vibration, that frequency that is within me is going out to others. And there is a collective, peaceful vibration happening in this very room. And then the peace that goes out, it's like a huge flow of peace going out into the world. And speaking of a huge flow of peace, and I'm thinking in this moment of the individuals who have been a victim of the Hurricane Helene, I believe, and the families the people in North Carolina that we can't reach, and people are afraid and nervous because the cell towers and the activity of the cell towers have been knocked out, and there is no power, and so people can't use their phones, and so family members are freaking out. But we are bringers of peace. We are bringers of the light, and so we're sending our peace out to those individuals and knowing for them what they're unable to know for themselves right now, which is that everything is going to be okay, more than okay, because there's something that I know for certain, and that is that people step up to help other people, and that is humanity in its glory, in its magnificence. And so I know that Spirit is right in the midst of it, and the individuals who are called to help and support in whatever way step into that. And we, each one of us in this moment, step into that flow and are sending that love and peace and that vibration of wholeness and tenderness, that we're holding them in the arms of love. And know that they experience a divine embrace, that everything is going to work out. Everything is going to be okay, more than okay. They will thrive. And there is a way through. And I'm so grateful for this peace. And so I know that each one of us going forward from here are putting the pieces together. And we experience peace in a way that we did not know was possible. And it is so good, and I am so grateful as I release this prayer into that loving and creative action of the law, knowing that peace is already the truth that's happening now. And so it is. Thank you. All right. Yes, and now we're going to have Mark Stanton Welch come on up and do a closing song for us.
So I just want to do a couple short things that will lead into something longer. From a Hawaiian tradition, Eli Eli Ta'u Ma'i means may the great peace descend. Eli Eli Ta'u Ma'i, 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 I am at ease, I am at peace, and I am serene. I'm as God made me. The wind is calm everywhere I go. With the strength that sings within me, I trust the rhythmic flow. I am at ease, I am at peace, I am serene. Well, I'm as God made me. The wind is calm everywhere I go. And with the strength that sings within me, I let the rhythmic flow. Peace will fill the world when we finally understand that only from within can it be spread throughout the land. Every single person living peace in what we do, only then will our dream come true. Only then will our dream come true. I love that I am so out of tune. I want to stop and tune, but I'm going to keep going. While I'm standing in a line, I turn, I catch the person's eyes. I can turn away, or I can give a smile. It's my chance to make a difference, to brighten up a day. I see the God within. I send a precious love bouquet. A man seeking money, he's living on the street, and I see that sign. I judge, I'm thinking he'll drink instead of eat. So I start to turn the corner. When I turn to see his face, I see the God within him. I place 20 on his plate. Throughout the day they come, these moments meant for me. Throughout the day, life, she just lays them at my feet, and she says, have compassion, she says. Take a risk, she says. Go on just to love the one you're with. And go on and love the out of tune A string. A spider in the bathtub, a fly upon the wall, or the traffic jam, the couple fighting somewhere down the hall, or that man who cut before me, or the waitress late and rude. Within these golden moments lies a fundamental truth. To get the love I want, I must give the love I seek. For as I do for you, my friend, someone will do for me. You see, these laws of love, they're written, they're embedded in the heart. So what stands right here before me is the perfect place to start. So Lord, give me situations to practice loving sweet, to ease the pain of living everyone I meet, and let me grow in bunches from the inside to the out, and let me know that love is all I'll ever be about. Throughout the day they come, these moments meant for me. And throughout the day life, she just lays them at my feet, and she says, have compassion, and she says, take the risk, and she says, go on, just love the one you're with. She says, Go on just to love the one you're with. And the people sang with me, they sang, go on and love the one you're with. And again they said, go on and love the one you're with. And I did it one more time. Go on and love the one you're with. So I'm standing in the line, and I turn and I catch that person's eyes. You know, I can turn away, or I can give a smile. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. We're so glad to have you back with us, Mark. All right, it's now time for our conscious giving. Will the ushers please come forward? And I would like to share in this moment that for those of you who are watching us on the live stream, you can go to paypal.me/awakeningways to make your donation. You can come on up, ushers, and you're going to come up here, up, and then you're going to turn around and face everybody. Look at these beauties. Oh, do you know a birthday song? It's his birthday. Actually, we have a birthday celebrant here. Anyone celebrating a birthday this month? If you are, please stand. All right, let's do it.
Here we go. Happy
Birthday to you.
Happy
Birthday to you. Woo! Happy birthday, dear Wayne. Happy birthday to you. Woo-hoo-hoo. All right, if you feel like giving a little extra for Reverend Wayne's birthday today, you can totally do so. We have a giving affirmation. I invite you to take your gift and place it over your heart, and please repeat after me. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and my belief. It is evidence of my faith and my belief. It does great work in the world. It does great work in the world. And returns to me multiplied abundantly. And returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. And so it is. Now you go.
This is a giving song, right? Love is something when you give it away. You give it away. You give it away. Oh, love is something, if you give it away, you end up having more. It's just like a magic penny. Hold it tight and you won't have any. Lend it, spend it, you'll have so many that they'll roll all over the floor. Oh, love is something, if you give it away, to give it away. Give it away. Well, love is something, if you give it away, you end up having more. You end up having more. You end up having more.
Alvina Reynolds. Oh,
He just flashed us.
I know. It's so much cooler being in our, well, it was cooler being in our 20s and the 70s, but this works too. So, thank you. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit, for giving through the people of this community. Thank you, Spirit, for knowing exactly what we need, when we need it, and how to get it. Thank you, Spirit, for bringing us together for supporting this community, for sending us out into the world with songs and thoughts and smiles and pennies. So, we bless these gifts. We know that they just are amazing symbols of our shared abundance. And together we say, and so it is.
All right. Thank you. And Reverend Wayne, did you want to share your age today, or? It's a big deal. He wants to share his shirt. I don't know how to act my age. I've never been this old before. I'll give you a hint. It starts with an 8. What? Yeah. All right, now our announcements angel is going to share some of the awesome things coming up this month.
Good morning, Awakening Ways! That's right. It's my turn to be the announcements angel. And here are the announcements for September 29th. I just want to also say, while I'm up here, I'm so grateful for this time together, for this community, for the love streamers. Those 2 cameras right back there are broadcasting out on Facebook and YouTube right now. So hello, love streamers. And for those watching on replay, speaking of replay, are you watching any of these videos on YouTube? We have a great YouTube collection of past Sunday services, including the one that DeLon just did, and we got to watch that on replay as well. So you can also find all of this goodness in our newsletter. So if you're not currently signed up to receive the newsletter, you can go to, you can send a request to info@awakeningways.org. Get on the newsletter, and you can get a replay of the service that Susan sends out, which is great. Okay, today, after service, join us for our annual potluck picnic party in the park. You can join Jimmy and the What Else Is Possible band and the choir for sing-alongs and great food. So come and join us for that. That is right after the service. Okay, and the next one, every Wednesday, join practitioner Ann Hanneline for an hour of meditation and inspiration from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. at our office on El Camino Real. And next Wednesday, October 2nd, we're going to be having a sound healing for inner peace with Jamie Nicole. So from 6:30 to 7:30 on October 2nd at our office on El Camino here in Atascadero. All are welcome. Suggested love offering is $25, and there is a sign-up sheet at the back table. All right. Be sure to mark your calendars. For Sunday, October 20th, we have a rare opportunity for this recording artist to be visiting the West Coast. He's an East Coast artist, a prolific artist, named Bob Sima. So Bob Sima is an award-winning singer-songwriter, spiritual teacher, and musical mystic. He will be providing the music for our service with a concert following. Now, Bob has been described as Eckhart Tolle with a guitar. So it's going to be fun. And tickets for Bob's concert are $20, and you can sign up at the back table. Our spiritual center, Awakening Ways, Center for Spiritual Living, is a supporter of ECHO. God is calling. All right. So our spiritual center is a supporter of ECHO, which is El Camino Homeless Organization. And in years past, we had a team that organized a meal once every month. The Hearts and Hands team is planning an opportunity for us to provide a meal in October and possibly more in the future. And I'd like to invite Susan to come up and tell us more.
All right. So the mission of the Hearts and Hands team is to offer opportunities for everyone in this spiritual community to participate in community giving. And so the loaves and fishes offering, where you can bring things and we bring it over to loaves and fishes, is going really well. And thank you all for bringing things, because we have some eggs back there today, which is awesome. So we're going to have one meal. We planned one meal at Echo. It's on Thursday, October 24th. We planned it on a Thursday because we know that the choir, which is mighty and huge, rehearses on that day. And so we thought this will give them an opportunity to bring food, and we'll pick it up and bring it over to Echo at 4:30 on that Thursday. We've decided on a meal. We're going to do sloppy joes, and I have a recipe that I found that's beef and lentil sloppy joes. So we got a little healthy, we got a little maybe unhealthy, I don't know. It's going to be great. I've got recipes at the back. We have a sign up at the back. We're going to have sloppy joes with buns or bread. We're going to have salad, and we're going to have cupcakes. So if you are so moved, please go over there and sign up to bring an offering for Echo, and that'll be October 24th.
Thank you, Susan. All right. Moving forward, our book of the month for September is, whoa, where did it go? There it is. Peace is Every Step, and The Path for Mindfulness in Everyday Life by Thich Nhat Hanh. This book is for sale at the back table for $15. Also, the Science of Mind magazine for September and October is available also at the back table for $10. I would like to take this moment to extend our gratitude. We are very grateful for you being our musical inspiration for today. Can we give Mark a big hand for this beautiful music? Mark, we're grateful for your expression of the divine. Please visit Mark's Table of Love, music. There's music books, there's classes, and Mark, I would like to invite you at this time to talk just a little bit about the class that blow your hair back this day, which is the Inner Child Workshop. Is that right? You said you were very excited about this.
My inner child feels nervous now.
Whoa!
For quite some time, I did a one-to-one course online called Inner Child Mentoring. And I've revisited it recently, and I thought, you know, there's some good material here. Rather than do one-on-one, let me just put it into book form. So I've created some books with workbooks that would literally be you walking through, because these times, in my opinion, the inner child work is the prime way, one of the prime ways to get back to the design of the I am that I am, which you all are. Clearing out the debris by accessing and connecting with that child self allows us to finally find and connect with the soulmate we've been looking for. The inner child and the adult self unified allows us to stand in our presence and power and to walk the path of peace so that all things flow. That's my opinion. The books have some information that could help you walk through it. So please take a look.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mark. Prolific your ministry is. And I want to also take this opportunity, before we do our big shout out for volunteers and staff, I wanted to, and we normally don't do this, but I want to put a spotlight on Jim Peterson. Where is Jim Peterson? Where is he? Jim? So many of you know there's a lot that goes into putting a Sunday service together, and there's and packing it up, right? And so there's a team of us that get here at 8:30. Now I arrived at 8:30, and there was already a sign out on the road pointing to the way, and I was like, man, who is responsible for putting the sign out there? And that's Jim Peterson. Now, Jim Peterson, not only did he do that, but he was administering to setting up the tech equipment that we use, and with love, he embraced me this morning, gave me a big hug, and everybody else that comes in your contact. So I want to give you a big shout out. As we shout out to all of our volunteers and staff, thank you so much. All right. And that, my beloveds, is the announcements.
All right, my friends, let's circle up for the benediction and call and response. We got to get out there to eat. Yeah, there's cake too. Madonna cake? Yeah. Ooh. Which one? Is it Black Forest Madonna cake? You want to stay for the cake, y'all. It's going to be out there. Outside, right? Yeah. Yay! And we'll all chant Om Shanti Om. All right, my friends, won't you know with me that you are never alone, that God is where you are right now and always, and all that we ever need do is turn within. And it is here we will find we are guided, sustained, directed, and inspired by a source that knows only good. Joyously let us make use of these gifts in all that we think, in all that we say, and in all that we do. Please repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening as me right now. Something wonderful is happening as me right now. It is this thing called life. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in my pocketbook. Life is in my relationships. Life is everywhere. I think it. I feel it. I believe it. I express it. I accept it. Just the way that it is. And just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. Woo-hoo.
If it doesn't bring peace, I don't need it. If it doesn't bring peace, I don't need it. If it doesn't bring peace, I don't need it. If it don't bring peace, I'm gonna leave it alone. If it doesn't bring peace, I don't need it. If it doesn't bring peace, I don't need it. If it doesn't bring peace, well, I don't need it. If it don't bring peace, I'm gonna leave it alone. If it doesn't bring peace, I don't need it. If it doesn't bring peace, I don't need it. If it doesn't bring peace, I don't need it. If it don't bring peace, I'm gonna leave it alone.